how the New York Times actively vouched for the veracity of its false narrative.
We actually want all evidence to come out that's, that's proper and appropriate evidence.
So everything is falling down for you guys because people perceive you as bullies.
We actually want all evidence to come out that's, that's proper and appropriate evidence.
It's going to have to be a full-blown, I am sorry, I lied, I am a terrible person, tail in between the legs, and that's what we deserve.
Then they publish 170 pages of perfectly documented texts and emails between all the parties that basically show Blake to be the aggressor. Here's the proof.
That's the whole point of a lawsuit, is you just start with allegations, and allegations are not evidence. They're just statements of fact that help establish this is the claim that I'm bringing.
You guys were complicit here. You guys were involved in this every step of the way.
What if everything you thought you knew about Blake Lively's Hollywood fairy tale was a lie? Picture this: a golden girl, a perfect marriage, a career that seemed untouchable until it all came crashing down in a legal firestorm so wild it's left everyone stunned. This isn't just a lawsuit, it's a full-blown implosion. And trust me, you're not ready for how insane this gets.
And how this filing is pure comedy and insanity. It literally contradicts itself, and it's not even admissible because of certain things that are in there.
Everything, and it really was quite horrific because you just go, what kind of a monster even goes through with this CRD filing? Like, they're basically bullying him again in the lawsuit.
As we know, Justin Baldoni is suing him, Blake Lively, and their PR person, Leslie Sloan, for $400 million.
Back in December 2024, Blake Lively dropped a bombshell. She sued her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni, claiming he harassed her on set, crossing lines, making her life a nightmare, and then orchestrating a smear campaign to ruin her. It was a classic Hollywood victim play, and for a hot second, it worked. The media ate it up, painting her as the wronged starlet fighting back against a monster. But here's where it gets juicy. Baldoni didn't just sit there and take it. Oh no, he came swinging, and what happened next would shock everyone.
But it looks as though she's a narcissist, like an actual diagnosed narcissist. Do not believe Blake Lively is that, but again, you can clearly see, in my opinion, the narcissism at bare minimum that's going on with her.
Yeah, and again, at the same time, Nathan assembled a team that could dominate social media through full social account takedowns by starting threads of theories and...
Hold that thought.
Here we go. Generally working to change the narrative. So it's impossible to know how much they planted and how much of it originated organically. Well, wait a minute.
Baldoni fired back with a $400 million lawsuit of his own, accusing Blake of defamation, extortion, and straight-up lies. And he didn't stop there. He unleashed a 170-page avalanche of evidence. Texts, emails, messages between the two of them and their teams, all laid out like a roadmap of truth. This wasn't some flimsy, he said, she said. This was cold, hard proof, and it shredded every single claim Blake made. Suddenly, the Fragile Damsel Act wasn't looking so fragile anymore. She was starting to look like the aggressor, but that wasn't the whole story.
You know, where this money is. This isn't, like, who has the cash for this type of lawsuit?
Every uncomfortable moment we felt it. Well, now they could do the same thing. You know, but
Right.
Brian Friedman could say, here, exactly. Okay, you want to do a settlement? Here it is. We're going to write, you are sick people who tried to take over my movie and crush a little peanut like me just because I'm a man bun wearing, soft, beautiful soul.
Cue the chaos. Blake's lawyer, Merle Conan, took one look at Baldoni's brutal opposition and said, yeah, I'm out. Imagine that, your own defense jumping ship because the case is such a disaster. By March 2025, just days ago, Conan was gone, leaving Blake scrambling. Insiders say she couldn't handle the embarrassment of trying to defend a story that was falling apart faster than a house of cards in a windstorm. Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, didn't just bury her case. He dug it up and set it on fire with facts so undeniable even Blake's team had to rethink their life choices. And trust me, it gets messier.
Thin-skinned outrage, essentially, over us bullying you. That doesn't make you look good on paper. It doesn't make you look good in the court of public opinion. It makes you look like what you actually are, which are a bunch of bullies who think can get away with everything. They used to replace what his name is, Brian Tyler, the composer on the movie. Well, Taylor Swift is not going to give you this unless we get what we want. She wants this credit. She wants this credit. She wants her edits.
Blake's PR squad, led by Leslie Sloan, thought they could spin this into gold. They'd cozy up to the New York Times, push headlines framing Baldoni as the villain, and keep Blake's victim card shiny and intact. That December article? It was their crown jewel. We can bury anyone, they called it, kissing her feet like she was untouchable. But when Baldoni's receipts hit, that PR machine went into meltdown mode. Sloan's not just sweating now, she's named in Baldoni's $400 million suit, turning Blake's image saver into a legal liability. The puff pieces stopped rolling, the media went silent, and Hollywood insiders are whispering she's done, but there's more lurking beneath the surface.
Look, there's a lot of factual determinations that need to be made here, not legal determinations. And because there's factual determinations, you got to leave it to the jury. You got to give a jury the property.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're just saying, look, just let the facts decide. And the trier of fact in any case is going to be the jury. Unless it's a bench trial, then it's a judge. But this is not. This is a jury trial.
Here's where it gets wild. Blake's own lawyer slipped up in court filings and let a bombshell drop. She's got profound mental health issues. Yeah, her own team accidentally spilled that tea, and now everyone's buzzing. Is this why she's been spiraling? Paranoid, desperate for control, cooking up stories to stay on top? Rumors of narcissism and manipulation are flying. People are throwing around Amber Heard vibes like it's a diagnosis. Her team's begging for a protective order to hide the juicy details. But if everything's so innocent, why the panic? And what happened next would shock everyone.
You're making a factual assertion that these people did something, seizing on it and amplifying it.
There's 5 other claims. He's got extortion, he's got false light, and everything immediately falls apart there. But I'm saying even that was ill-advisable. I would not have said, quote unquote, hurt feelings and saying, like, they're basically bullying him again in the lawsuit.
While Blake's legal world burns, her marriage to Ryan Reynolds is circling the drain. Verified sources, not tabloid trash, say they're not even living together anymore. Separate houses, separate lives, and those cute red carpet moments? Total PR, smoke, and mirrors. US Weekly insiders spill that they've got good days and bad days. But behind closed doors, it's ugly. This lawsuit isn't just tanking Blake, it's dragging Ryan down too, with his laughable motions to dismiss and a reputation crumbling faster than his Deadpool quips. Hollywood's whispering the big D word, divorce, and it's not hard to see why. But the fallout doesn't stop there.
Blake Lively fears profound mental health issues are at risk of being leaked amid Justin Baldoni legal drama. It's just almost unbelievable that her lawyer would file this. I don't understand why he would put this out there. It's just very bizarre. There's a lot of things that he could have talked about.
Blake's once tight circle is falling apart. Taylor Swift, distancing herself so fast you'd think Blake's radioactive. Remember when Blake tried to flex their friendship to pressure Baldoni on set? Yeah, Taylor's not thrilled about being dragged into this circus, and her team's making sure her name stays clear. Anna Kendrick, her Another Simple Favor co-star, reunited with her for promo recently, but the vibes? Awkward city. Anna's giving bare minimum answers while Blake fakes it for the cameras. Everyone's either walking away or barely tolerating her. Hugh Jackman, Ryan's bromance buddy? Radio silence. Hollywood's done bending over backward for her, and it's only getting lonelier. But the real kicker's still coming.
And now let me just say this. Having a mental health disorder does not excuse you in any way from what you're doing. And in fact, I personally believe that Ryan Reynolds is not only a narcissist, but I believe he is a psychopath. Now, is Blake Lively diagnosed with something that could actually affect this case and actually explain why she's the way she is? And when I say mental health, we're not talking about like, something that is really serious.
Let's talk money, because this is where Blake and Ryan start sweating bullets. Baldoni's $400 million suit is bad enough, but tack on his $250 million claim against the New York Times, which indirectly ropes them in, and you've got $650 million hanging over their heads like a financial guillotine. Ryan's net worth? Maybe $350 to $400 million, tied up in stuff like Wrexham AFC and Deadpool royalties, not liquid cash he can just toss around. Blake's career? Stagnant at best, and she's not booking anything big after this mess. Court fees, penalties, interest. It's a nightmare they can't afford. They've flexed this billionaire couple image for years, but the truth's out, they're not untouchable, and they're about to lose everything. And here's where it all unravels.
I found out how much Ryan Reynolds is worth, and he cannot afford this lawsuit.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's what we see, but I do have to say that the arguments in this opposition were really good.
Inside Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' relationship amid their legal battle. Good days and bad days. Are these two headed for divorce?
Well, what could be ruined? You know, you might be a little embarrassed, but to ruin a career, there has to be some level of fraud. They've got you on this extortion. His argument is so weak. He's basically saying, well, I didn't receive any money. And it's like, buddy, extortion is a lot bigger than that.
Baldoni's 170 pages of receipts aren't just a defense, they're an expose. Every text, every email, every backroom chat shows Blake pushing, manipulating, and playing the aggressor while crying victim to the world. Her claims of harassment, no proof. Body shaming, nothing solid. Breastfeeding issues, all smoke, no fire. She pulled a Gossip Girl script and forgot real life needs evidence. Friedman didn't just poke holes. He tore her story apart, piece by piece, showing how she weaponized the media, her PR team, even her friendships to Barry Baldoni. Now her empire's collapsing, and no one's stepping in to save her. So where does this leave Blake?
With that question, I really do think she's just a spoiled brat. Like, it just goes down to something that simple. She's a spoiled brat, and she's used to getting what she wants from a time that she was a kid. And this is what she wanted. And I do think that people have not pieced together. There's going to be a lot stronger defamation claims against Ryan Reynolds.
I believe this is probably related to personality disorders. A lot of people have pointed out that Blake Lively, there's a lot of experts that are reading it, and of course no one can give a diagnosis, but it looks as though she's a narcissist. Like,
her lawyer's gone, her PR team's a legal mess, the media's turned cold, and Hollywood's moved on. Her marriage, cracking. Her mental health, exposed. Her bank account, on the verge of ruin with $650 million in lawsuits looming. Blake Lively thought she could control the narrative, Barry Baldoni, and come out smelling like roses. Instead, she's watching every piece of her perfect image blow up in her face. Is this the end of her Hollywood reign, or just the start of a bigger reckoning? Hit that subscribe button because this train wreck's far from over, and the next twist might be the wildest yet.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are moving to protect their text messages and sensitive data amid their legal battle with Justin Baldoni. The couple has filed a request to keep their texts with high-profile people confidential. But to reveal that your client has profound mental health issues is very alarming because, you know, we all have mental health things.